Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Beyond the Map podcast. Today, we are so much excited with our co-host here. I'm Ernest from Belton, Missouri, and here are some of my colleagues with a very wonderful topic. The topic is silent struggles, why immigrants don't talk about the mental health issue. So before we get into it, imagine leaving your country. Each person leaving the country at a different point of their life, different age, some very, very young, some adult, whatever. But you are going to a new country, new language, sometimes a different accent, and you have to live your life there. You live your culture, you live your family and everything. But it's not easy. There are so much pressure. There are so many things you have to prove, so many things in order to succeed in those particular countries. But just like any human being around the world, there are so many challenges, things we are facing, we have to overcome them. But one of the things is the issue of mental health. So let's hear from our team here what's all about the issue of mental health, especially for immigrants. How is yourself, first of all, your understanding, how you go about it, your experience, or what have you heard from other people, and what should be done in general. So there are so many things. So go ahead and jump in, whatever you want to share. You are welcome.
Thank you. So my opinion is immigrants don't really talk about mental health as much, or they don't share. It's because of stigma, because we come from a culture where you are not allowed to express yourself. You're not allowed to say how you feel. You're coming from a culture where there is issue within the family is kind of swept under the carpet. You don't talk about it. So I feel that's the key issue. It's a stigma. It's like, if I'm stressed and I tell you I'm stressed, people are like, well, stress? What stress? If I want therapy and I'm telling, my people in the African community, like, I really need therapy, people already think in a negative aspect, not in a positive aspect. So I feel like if we stop the stigma on mental health, and if we stop the stigma of mental health, I feel like we can save a lot of people in African community, pretty much.
What about you, Mariah?
That's very true. For our culture, I kind of feel like we take mental health as a weakness. If you say I'm stressed, you're weak, you're not strong enough. If you call somebody and say, oh, I'm stressed, I'm this and that, stay strong, hold it on. If it's a marriage, you'll be like, you need to be strong, you need to be tough. But we tend to forget that mental health affects a lot of people, not only adults, even kids. When you're stressed, kids can be stressed too. And as we grow, at whatever age, pregnancy people, during pregnancy, you can be stressed. After pregnancy, that's where it's very heavy. We don't talk about postpartum depression. Financial, like now the economy, everybody is stressed. The price is up. People are stressed. But how do we deal with it? That's the key.
Yeah, for me, I can start by putting that the culture, especially for Africans, the issue about having professional people like counselors, go to talk to them. They are not, first of all, they are foreign things to us. That's number one. And the worst part is, up to the current situation, there are no legal framework to protect the privacy of when you are going to meet the counselor. My brother is a professor. His master's is on privacy, is private data. PhD is focusing on that. There are less than 15 people in entire Africa who have a degree in personal data protection at that level. There are no many articles written by Africans. There are no legal framework supporting these kind of things. So you are going to talk to a psychologist, to the counselor, then that counselor, no boundaries, no law, is going to talk to the wife, is going to talk to the girlfriend, is going to talk to the street, to the WhatsApp group, but there are no repercussions. Like here, there are so many laws and regulations. So someone, you go there, you know what are the ethics. So combining lack of being something new, plus no legal framework of the privacy of the person. What if I tell you? What if you're going to tell other people? That is different from, let's say, for Catholics, I'm Catholic. So for Catholics, when you go for confession, there is a framework which is already put there. What we said there will never be shared to any place. So we need to have that kind of framework from beginning to assure people what to talk about. So that is when, for me, I see it starts from there. Then it goes to, like, you are talking about the issue of weakness, or why should I tell you, whatever. If you have a problem, some people, they go to drink. If they have a problem, they go to talk some whatever, or they go to watch soccer, they go to do something else for fun. They think that the problem is gone, but the deep root is still there.
True.
I read somewhere they say whatever you hide inside your body, it's gonna show up no matter what. It's either pimple, your behavior, it will show up. Like mental health is key.
Yeah. So what let me I remember one time I made a video about myself. Like I was so much stressed to the extent I was not able to sleep at all. Like in order to sleep, I have to overdose 5 pills to have 6 hours of sleep. Like I was just like, it's like there is no way. But it reached a point that I had to cancel everything it was from June to almost October, not dealing with the social media, not dealing with everything. So those are the things until you realize you are going to be in very deep trouble. But majority of us was, I'm strong. Why should I talk to a person? Why should I do this? Why should I do this? That is the problem based on where we are from. But if you don't take the opportunity to take care of what is really deep down on yourself, is going to happen by being abuser, by just being your kids, being your spouse, being mean to everybody. You don't think it's going to affect it, but it's going to affect in so many other ways. And it's going to be like you are going to lose a job, we are not to lose a customer if you have a business. So it has impacted negatively in your long run if you are not going to deep down go to try to find out to resolve the issue of what is going on to yourself.
Very true. So for me, in 2022, I believe it was around pandemic in April. You know, I had 3 kids: high school, middle school, elementary school, full-time job, a husband, a household to run, work, and we are remote, right? So I'm dealing with 3 different children, 3 different homework. I was an IT person, computer shut down. I had to deal with that. Pretty much everything. So I didn't know I was stressed because from when I get up at 5 until 10, I was on the go and the go and the go on the go. And remember that my husband was an essential worker. So he's like living his best life, gets up in the morning, going to work, come back home. And I'm dealing with teaching 3 children or helping 3 children with their homework, you know, doing my job, doing my business. And I didn't realize I was stressed out. I was burnt out. It came to a point where for 2 weeks at nighttime, I was sad. I would cry. And my husband would ask me, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. But I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I was so stressed out. But I didn't know that I was stressed because, you know, 9 to 5, 10, I'm on the go. So I don't have, you know, the mental capacity to think about anything else. The kids, the homework, the school, work, blah, blah, blah. I was good. When in the evening, I'm getting ready to bed, I'm just, you know, relaxing. I was getting really stressed out and I was crying for 2 weeks and I really didn't know what was wrong with me. So I reached out to a friend and the friend was like, you know, I have a therapist, get in touch with us. So I got in touch with a therapist that I was advised to. And I was like, you know, I'm exhausted. I don't know why I'm crying. I'm stressed. I don't know if I'm stressed, but I don't feel like I'm stressed. And we just kind of, you know, had a conversation. She just we figured out that I was stressed. And because I was doing everything and I wasn't asking for help, I wasn't asking for assistance, I just thought, you know, I could do it. And pretty much I couldn't do it all. So, you know, we kind of had a conversation where I need to be vocal about, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Somebody else take care of this responsibility at home, you know, take time for me. So that was kind of like a breaking point for me to go back to where I was. And it was the best thing that I ever did. So I'm not afraid at 2022 to now, I'm not afraid to say I'm tired. I'm not afraid to say I'm not coming. I don't want to go. I'm like, if anything that I feel that's going to stress me out, or I'm exhausted, or is going to burn me out, it's time out. My kids play sports, and I'm already tired. And I already told the coach, I'm like, look, there's going to be a day that I'm not coming to practice, because, you know, if I feel tired, I feel stressed, I don't care how important it is. I need to take time out. And I'm like, you know what, coach, I'm not coming, or I'm just going to come for an hour, and I'm, you know, taking my kids, I'm going home. So I feel like you have to put yourself in a position where you're a safe space. So my safe space was, I reached out to a friend, and I'm burnt out, and all my friends like, oh girl, we're all stressed, we're all tired. And I'm reaching out to everybody. Like, oh, yeah, you can, you know, I see my therapist. I'm like, you see a therapist every week? It's like, yeah, I have a therapist. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the norm. So now it's, for me, it's like, I haven't touched base with her since the beginning of the year. Now I feel like it's April. Now I'm getting burnt out again, because, you know, spring activities coming, work is going, business is going, everything is going. I'm like, okay, I need to touch base with her so I could just figure out how to go about doing things differently. I have, you know, I talk to Mariah. I have, you know, environment where I can communicate with my friends, my husband, my kids. Now they understand, like, you know what, mom needs time out. I tell my daughters, like, you know, give me 2 hours. Don't knock on my door. Give me space. I need to rest. And she will not bother me for 2 hours. So I feel you have to have a, you know, environment, space where I can tell you I'm stressed without you judging me, without you thinking, oh, I'm stressed. Oh, the marriage is bad. Oh, she can't take care of her kids. Oh, stuff like that. So that's my take.
Yeah.
And I want to add something on what you pointed, and I will pose a question on top of that. There is the issue about our culture. Our culture, usual, it is difficult to say no. Yes. So when you are saying that, it was difficult at the beginning to say, okay, please help me on something, or I cannot do this one. We believe that you have to please other people, to put interests of other people first. That is the culture of Africans. And plus, a woman who is a mother, wife at home, that expectation is coming to be on top of that one.
Yeah.
And I want to add something else, which I read, like, which now it makes sense, like the issue of overall cultural barriers. You are in a new country. Yes, there is the issue of language. No matter how many years you have stayed here, sometimes there are certain things you cannot express like a native speaker of here. These two combinations, depending on what is your cycle, some people cannot even fear to say something or to share something. Oh, what will they think about me expressing something like this one? Or the barrier of, what if I explain this one? Someone can ask, what do you mean? You feel that, oh, maybe I don't speak good English. Maybe they feel me I'm dumb. Maybe I'm not educated, because you are starting overlooking was putting so much pressure on yourself instead of thinking, oh, someone doesn't understand. That's all simple. Not because of the language or because of your education, because of whatever. So sometimes we ending up shutting down certain times because of our expectation from our culture. This person cannot understand me. If I go to talk to this person, what will he understand about it? What I'm going through, whatever. And you are adding the cultural barrier. I don't want to add this one. I don't want to speak with these people. Let me, whatever. So what you end up just being on social media all the time. You think that is going to solve your problem. It's just a temporary smiling for a minute. The problem, deep roots are still there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, I had my kid back to back, like they're 17 months apart, and my husband work a lot. And you know, in this country, you raise your kids, you and your husband, we all do that. So my mental health started after I had my second born, because I had a toddler learning in the house and the other one. I didn't notice. I was like, maybe it's getting too much and I'm doing this. So I was like, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Me not knowing I'm going through postpartum depression. So that was like first hit. So as I keep going to the doctor, I check the boxes. I'm like, yeah, this is hitting. I'm on that phase. I'm going through depression. Then I traveled to Africa with my family for the first time. There was a lot of emotional abuse. So the emotional abuse plus my depression, which I had, that took a big toll on me. So for me, like sometimes if you ask me 2010 to 2020, I don't remember what I did. Why? Because I was so depressed. Like I was so depressed. And the thing with back home, if people don't understand this person is going through something. No, they don't. They think like this is a weakness. Or if you call for help or if you cry. I used to be criticized for crying. My depression, I was crying a lot. I was not sleeping. So I don't sleep. I cry. I have 2 toddlers to learn. And I have a home to take care, like Khadija said, because you have to do everything by yourself. And at the same time, I was working. I had to stop working. I'm taking care of my kids. So all this combining together is bringing me depression. And now I have to deal with emotional abuse from the side which I didn't expect. So all this came back here. There was days I couldn't get out of bed. And imagine I cannot get out of bed. Still, I have to get up and take care of my kids. You call people, they'll be like, oh, relationship I had, you have to call back home. They'll say, oh, relationship I had, we have to do this. And other people be like, but you doing this. Oh, I'm like, why? Do you guys take time to see why this person is going through? So like, for me, like it was bad. Like it was bad to the extent I was staying awake the whole night. And sometimes to go to sleep, I had to drink. So I drink, I wake up, I'm hangover. I have kids to run and take care of, but until I was like, okay, this need to be taken care of. And then that's how my healing. If you go on my social, you see me talking about self-care all the time, mental health. There's some people who's like, are you going through something? I'm like, no, I'm not going through something, but this need to be shared out there because there are some people who are going through something. Like I've seen a lot of people talk about back home, like mother abandoned their kids, or somebody had a baby, some they even killing their kids because those are signs of postpartum depression, which in our culture, we don't even recognize it's there. So even somebody come here will be like, maybe I'm doing too much, or maybe no, we all go through something. Like I said before, if you hide it, it's inside your brain, it's inside your body, it's gonna show up. How it's gonna show up? You're not gonna sleep. How it's gonna show up? Some people will be gaining weight. Some people will be breaking out.
Some people will be drinking.
Some people will be drinking. Yeah. And you'll be like, I'm gonna drink. Oh, we all say, I can go to church, I can pray about it, and then I'll be okay. No, we need help. Call somebody, talk to somebody, get therapy. That's the easiest way. You don't want to go get therapy, call a friend. I always try to, me going through what I went through, I always try to be kind to people along the way, which some people take as a weakness. But why I'm kind? Because I didn't get that when I was going through it. And I always say, like, if somebody is doing something, maybe they are going through something. So it's hard. This is close to home, guys.
Yeah.
This is close to home.
I reached out to, a friend spoke to me about being stressed out, depressed, things are not going right. It's just really stressed. So I, like, hey, there's my therapist, or go online, it's a website, look for a therapist. And that friend in return turn around and say, you know what? Those therapies for white people. Why would I want to do that? And I'm like, you are, the inside of you is dying. You are dying. You are depressed. You don't get up. You're drinking. You're doing all these things. It's visible that you need therapy. You need help. So you're like, no, that's for white people. And I'm like, therapy is not for white people. Your mental health is at stake. You know, you're gonna end up doing things that are harming yourself. Drinking excessively, that's harming yourself. You know, sleeping, you have to pop a pill to sleep, that's harming yourself. But it's just that notion of African thinking therapy is for white people. I love my therapist. That's like, I love her, and I don't even see her if I have issue. I'm like, hey, I just want to touch base. This is what's been going on. You know, my kids are doing this. This is great. My husband is doing this. This is great. So it's for me, it's my escape from the things that I need somebody else to tell me a different point of view, and also not to just tell me I'm right or I'm wrong, but somebody to actually talk to me about there's a different way of doing something, so you don't have to feel stressed out about it. You don't have to feel like you're alone. And it's surprising when I talk to her, I'm like, oh, I really don't have any problem comparing to other issues that you hear about other people. But it's very important to have your safe space where you can talk to people without being judged, without being criticized, without people feeling that you're weak. It's not even for just as female, for men. A lot of men are going out stressed out because they got to take care of their family. They don't know when is, you know, with especially with how the economy is, the country is. A lot of people are stressed out, but even African man is going to tell you, I don't need no therapy. People are going through a divorce, they're going through a separation. I'm like, look, you've gone through some type of trauma. You need help. You need to talk to somebody. Oh, I don't need anybody. I'm good. Then 6 months down the line, what you doing? They're drinking, you're out, you're thinking that your problem just going to disappear. It doesn't work like that.
You see, like a lot of people end up having stroke, brain aneurysm. Why? Stress.
Yeah.
And like even kids. Did you all see the data which they are talking about now? Kids like 12 to 17 who are going through the phase, they are highly depressed.
And even in the kids in our culture, our kids are not allowed to express how they feel. It's like my sons, like my sons are, oh, cry. You want to cry? Cry, right? It's my sons. I tell them, my son, cry and tell me how you feel. Tell me what this makes you feel. Tell me how do I make you feel about doing this? But in our culture, even our children are not allowed to express themselves. Our children are not allowed to correct us when we do something wrong, because don't talk to me like that. I never used my mother, you know, I could never talk to my mom like that. But then it's the way of them expressing themselves that what you're doing, I don't like how you're doing it. Maybe talk to me in a different way or explain to me in a different way. Children are stressed. Children are scared of speaking to their parents, because if I tell mom how I feel, if I tell dad how I feel, they're going to get upset.
That's why when you go to therapy, a lot of us now, I'm like, you need to heal your inner child. You heal your inner child because you went through something which you are suppressing back then, and now it's coming back. And now as a parents, we don't even take step and see like whatever we went through, we're not supposed to bring our kids. And kids nowadays, they are highly intelligent. They have resources everywhere. So I think we need to break the cycles as parents too.
And I think there's that excuses. Oh, okay, we all went through that. Oh, that's what happened to everybody. Yes, it happened to everybody, but still, it was not okay to happen to everybody. It wasn't just because it happened to the whole mass of maybe African continent. It doesn't mean it was okay. It doesn't mean it was acceptable. So, and like you say, until you heal your childhood trauma, and then you can't move forward. But also there's people like, people believe that I don't have childhood trauma. No, you don't, but you do also. We all do. Sometimes it might not be, maybe the word trauma is so strong, you're thinking about in a negative aspect. It could just be things that you went through as a child that should have not gone through. And also the things that you went through as a child, they're affecting you, how you deal with people, how you process things, how you express yourself.
And also there is the issue on what we call like among immigrants, we have some sort of success pressure because we decided to come from different countries here. So you came with a big expectation. When I arrive in America, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to reach here. You are believing that you might have better life, especially when economic. Then there are other relatives because you have extended families on that aspect. You come here, then depending on where you are, some people, they start kind of like competing with other immigrants. You see, oh, I've done so. You don't know, the education might be different. Maybe job is different. A doctor, MD, and the dentist have different types of education, different how much they get paid. Someone, you got a PhD, but it's political science you are teaching, you get less money than like a plumber. You do not know all those kind of things. Sometimes you might feel like you are a failure. So there are so many piling up if you are not keen enough to get into the trap. Like, okay, you are competing with other people. You are competing with where you are from. Instead of coming to realize this is the life, it's my life. So there are other things we have to find a way to resolve them so that we can move on. For majority of people who are here, for them, this is their life. They are not competing with other Africans or another country. Or originally they're from Italy. They don't care much because the people from Italy, they are maybe 100 years ago. But for us, we have just right now can make a call to someone in Tanzania. You visit there, you see someone has a good home, has this one. You come here, you get it stressed out. What are you going to do? You are working 22 hours in 24 hours in a day. How are you going to be productive in the long run? No. There is one guy from Ghana in Indiana, died at work because he was working 20 to 23 hours every single day. Like whatever is off is driving, like Uber. After that, he's going to another home working. Yes, it's good to make the money, but don't make the money come to kill you because you don't have time to take for yourself, to reflect, to even to heal yourself. Those are the things we have to know. Yes, there are expectations, but those expectations should be for your own, not with the comparing with another person.
True. I used to work a lot. But for a lot for people who know me back then when I used to work a lot. But for me, every time when I was off, that was my off day. And on my off days was the day for me to be happy and enjoy life. Even if I'm inside, I'm doing something to give me joy. I'm doing something to take the lead. I work hard, I take care of my family, but at the end of the day, this is my greatest investment I can ever have. If I mess up my body, if I mess up my head, I'm not going to be able to do anything. So even if you are working long hours, always you have to make sure you get your sleep. Even if it's short sleep, make sure you get a good sleep. Yeah. And make sure like you take time for you. Don't allow any other stress coming in there. And I think for immigrant, one thing, we come here, this is different country, different culture, different people, different environment. You are home, you had a PhD, you are working maybe TRI, you're a manager or something, you're a CEO. You came here, you don't have whatever it takes for you to be there. It's okay to stop and start from afresh. First of all, we have to accept. I choose to be in this country. Why? Because I made my calculation and I feel like there's something better I'm going to get here other than there. You need to figure out how to survive. Whatever you're doing, if it's working, if you're driving, accept, adapt, and try to be okay and survive. You're not okay, it's okay to take a break. We cannot compare ourselves like, oh, I'm working here, I'm living on an apartment, and my friend back home built a house. Yes, your friend built a... Everybody has a different purpose. Everybody has... God put something inside each of us, which is different. Whatever God planned for Khadija, it's not what he planned for me. Whatever, it might take me 5 years to build a house back home. Somebody might take 1 year, which is okay. It's okay. But my time will come and I'll do it. That's my take.
I am being very intentional with my time, very intentional with my mental health, very intentional with anything that would trigger me, anything that would upset me, anything that gives me joy. I don't give it time. The way I've come to a point where I would rather give you my money than give you my time if my time is going to stress me or trigger me or upset me or anything. I am very content being in a bubble where stress-free, and I have no desire to be stressed because I'm not really trying to keep paying my therapist every week. So the less I, deal with things that stress me, the better for me. I find time to exercise, find time to just sit at home and read a book, find time to just do nothing, gardening, take time for yourself, see friends if that's what makes you happy, take on sports, whatever it is, but be intentional with your time, be intentional with your space, be intentional with anything that really frustrates you and anything that upsets you. And we're also in the African community where you could be going around family member and that family member really do not like you, or the family, there's always conflict with its family member, but you still putting yourself in that position where when you go to visit family member or you go to see your in-laws, your mother-in-law, they don't treat you well and you come back home stressed. No, you don't need to. You have to set boundaries. It's like, I'm not coming. You're going to stress me. I feel that I'm going to stress you respectfully. I feel like this is not the best environment for me. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not being rude. This is not the best thing for me right now. And I feel like it's going to be stress me. I'm out. Take care of you. Take care of your mental health. Your mental health will take care of you. Pretty much.
So if, let's say, someone is afraid to start, like, okay, this is the situation that I'm in, or someone is a little bit of newer here in America, you come here, you don't have that belief of depression, stress, or that level we had and whatever. What are few things, like, if you point out, okay, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these things will be able to guide you for your entire career and the life here to be able to be successful, because success here starts with you. What are the key issues you'll point out to someone, or even someone has been here for 20 years but he still is struggling, doesn't want to take that step to go forward and starting addressing some of the key issues we are talking about? What are the things you advise that person to start? Okay, these are the areas you can focus on. These are the things you can be putting much attention to cure yourself in that particular way.
Deal with your issues. That will be the first. The first advice will be deal with your issues. You cannot ignore what's around you. You cannot ignore what's in front of you. However you want to deal with your issue, deal with your issue. In America, we have HIPAA, right? So if you go and speak to your doctor, you go to speak to a therapist, that information is private. But no matter what you do, you can't move forward until you deal with the issue that you have, until you accept that I have a problem, or I'm not feeling myself, or I'm not happy with this environment, I'm not happy with this situation. You have to deal with your issues, pretty much. There's no way about it. There's no way you can run away from anything and everything, but just trust the process. Have faith, pretty much.
What other thing for you, Maria, you can advise someone?
For me, I'll say, let's say you just came here and you find yourself stranded. You see America is not what you expected, or you get in the relationship, you find the relationship is not what, or it's a friendship. You find you're on that corner where you find yourself. The first thing I'll say, first of all, accept it. Accept I'm in this situation which I don't understand. If there's the second step, if you put yourself on the situation, for me, I'll be like, you have to forgive yourself for being on that situation. Don't blame yourself. Forgive yourself. If it's a person, forgive the person. The third, figure out how to survive now. You cannot move out of it if you still hold blame, like I did this or somebody did this on me. No, you have to free yourself from the blame. You already accept, free yourself from the blame. Now get everything. If it's some people would say therapy is expensive. I cannot afford therapy. That's okay. There's a ton of information online. You can go Instagram. There's a lot of people now make page talking about healing, mental health is everywhere. Get a lot, whatever information you can get together. Get a book. Get whatever you can. You can go church. Church is cheap. You go church. How many people know like praising and worshiping is healing? That's a free healing. Pop in whatever church you can find. Sing. I used to like listening to Joe Austin when I was stressed. For me, that was a free therapy. After his 20 whatever minutes of sermon, like, I'm okay. I feel empowered. I can do anything. Like, I'm on top of my game. They're free. But if you can afford, just go for therapy. And like for us as people in foreign country, we all go through something. If I'm going through financial trouble, you have to think and I believe somebody else is going something. Okay, a person might be financially okay, but might be going through marriage, or some may be going through kids. Everybody go through something. Let's be kind. When you're going through your healing process, be kind to other people. Give them grace. Khadija likes saying that. Give them grace because the battle you're facing, other people may be facing the same battle. If you had friends who betray you because they couldn't keep your secret and take it everywhere, try to be a better friend to other people. Because you don't know who you will save. Like we say before, people go through stress and they can get stroke. Some people end up ending their lives. Some people end up do whatever crazy stuff we see every day. So let's start to be the healing channel for our kids, for our friends, and for everybody around us. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
Yeah. For me, I might add another thing. When you go and start your life in another country, doesn't mean that you have to keep everything from where your childhood is, your culture. It doesn't mean that you have to accept everything you are coming to the new country. But you have to agree that I'm going to live in a foreign area. Whether you like it or not, there are things you have to adopt quickly. If you don't, why are you there in the first place?
Yeah.
Because you cannot come here and start everything that your parents raised you back in 1990s or 80s or 70s, you bring them in America, you might end up in jail. And you have to adopt. I know there are certain things you can say, I have to keep this one, which are good, I understand. But that will be the first step. The second step will be, you mentioned at one point, sometimes we come with a high education, a lot of work experiences, and to come here, you have to go to warehouse and work.
Yeah.
You are a manager at the bank in Kenya. How are you going to survive here? So that is accepting that if I'm coming here, I'm going to start a new life. The new life is start with what? From the beginning, going up. Going up, yes, that is another stress. I can give one practical example. I finished my master's degree. On May 1st, I get married. Graduation is 22nd of May, 2010. So I'm getting married during the middle of this, almost the end of the semester. Mm-hmm. I went to the honeymoon with my assignments. I come back and I finish the school. I finished there, I go to do a research in Tanzania with my wife. We came back, we graduate, and it was the peak of 2008, 2009, 2009 going to 2010, the financial crash. Where are you going to get good job plus you study conflict resolution? Which conflict are you going to solve?
Where?
The life was difficult, and I live in California. So I have to lower down my ego. my father and my mother-in-law said, why can't you come and stay here with us for free?
Why
So
not?
you come with ego, African ego. Okay. Man, married. Why should I go to stay? But what other option do I have? Do I need to go to be homeless?
No.
I don't have the option. So you have to go to live with your in-laws while you are married. So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes there are certain things happening you have to accept. And don't like feel that, okay, I cannot do this when you are going to be stressed out until you become homeless while someone is giving you a hand. Just like Kaji mentioned at one point, like, I don't want to do this because this is white people thing. No, it's not white. We are all human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone gives you help and you say, this is a good help, and this is going to help me in one way or another, in a good intention, why am I not going to take it? Because the person giving the help is white? Or is a white thing? There is no white thing. That is humanity. This is so there are certain things sometimes, okay, what should I do? The right thing to do is we try to, when we start over, we need to have intention, like I'm starting over. It's a long journey. I'm not comparing with any person. I have to adopt certain things from here. There are certain things from there. I have to leave them away. There are certain things good from there. I have to add them here. So those are the things we have to look at. So sometimes it can help us on the journey of knowing, even when you are stressed out, when I need help, when I do this, so that when we want to succeed, we can reach at the point which you want to reach at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know that I'm saying comparison is a killer of joy. If you keep compare yourself to other people, Johnny, you're not gonna get there, and you start hating other people.
Mm.
And Khadija mentioned about setting boundaries. Like, that's a very important thing. We have to learn to set boundaries. Because at the end of the day, if you see something doesn't align, something is killing your joy, is not giving you peace of mind. Not hating, but set boundaries. If either, a certain group is not taking you where you want to go, or is always pushing you down, love them from afar. Make time for yourself.
I think we are so afraid to say no because we might be seen as party poopers, or we might be seen as we don't want to be part of the whatever it is. We are so afraid to say no. You could be exhausted, you could be tired, you come back from work, or this weekend you just want to rest. I just want to say no. But because of the fear of missing out, or the fear of, if I say no, what would they think of me? And you put yourself in a position where I'm tired, but I'm just gonna go. No, just take time for you and be honest with yourself. It's like today is not the day. I would like to be there and support you. I would like to be there and celebrate you, but today I'm just tired and I need to take time for me so I can recharge and be a better person for next time around that you need me.
A couple of days ago, I watched, there is a short clip. I think he's, I don't know, it's called Mr. T, whatever, the black guy in the Law and Order. So he was on an interview, someone who asked a question, and he pointed out, for him, most of the things, whenever you ask him, he will say no. Very few things will say yes. And explain why. I say, whatever I say yes to you, that means I'm putting myself into disappointment. Why? And he gave an example. He said, what is your name? The guy said, my name is Jose. I said, Jose, asking me, will you please take me to give me a ride to the airport? Tomorrow my flight is 7 a.m. If I say yes, number one, I have to go to sleep early. Number two, I have to put the alarm. Number three, I have to put, the car must have gas. Number four, I have to drive all the way to your home to pick you up. And if I'm late, you are going to be late with your flight, and you'll be upset with me. So why am I putting myself into all this trouble? That's why I say no. So you were saying, like, if you know you cannot do something, don't try to please other people. Just say no, so that you can do whatever it's over. But whatever, a lot of yes, they might end up putting you in so much stress. Myself, I was in so much stress, like it was difficult. Not just say no. I had difficult if I don't respond to someone's comment. I don't respond to someone's message. I feel like I'm disappointing someone. At reach a point, I can stay even 1 week without even touching my inbox, and I'm okay. But it took longer years to reach to that decision.
I don't have to pick up your call. I don't have to answer your text right away. I don't have to do anything. And if it's emergency, I will know it's emergency. It will eventually get to me. But I don't have to respond to messages. I don't have to pick up your call. It's like, why you didn't answer? I was tired. I was doing something. I was resting. I was having me time. And people get really offended. Like, I've called you 5 times. You didn't answer my phone. I'm like, yeah, because it was not important. What did you have important to tell me? It wasn't important. I understand you were checking on me, but I just needed time away from everybody and just focus on the things that I'm doing, especially how all 3 of us live our lives now with doing so much things, taking on so many projects. So when I have a little free time, I want to have a little free time for me. And I don't really want necessarily have to answer to anybody or explain to anybody. As long as the husband is good, the kids are good, the family is good, work is good, I don't really want to have to run around and deal with anything else. And people really get offended. I've had a few friends, people that get offended. I'm like, no, I'm tired and I really needed that 30 minutes for me. I needed my power nap. And he's like, well, but I called you. I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of time when I'm meditating or I'm listening to my audiobook or I'm just watching the news. And that's me time.
No, I don't want to talk to anybody. I mean,
and it's funny because I don't have to justify myself, but I feel like I'm ending up justifying myself. I feel like I'm ending up defending myself when I say, no, I don't want to come. No, why you don't want to come? I just don't want to come. Why? Then you have to start explaining. I have this. No, just accept that, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. I didn't feel like picking up your call. But eventually I go back to you. When I got back to somebody 3 days ago, they were upset. But I'm like, yeah, I saw your message, but it wasn't important. I guess now we're talking about it was nothing urgently. You're calling me. But also give me grace and she's tired. And now we're in the era of social media that you might see me post something and I don't get back to you, I don't answer you, but people don't realize that we can schedule all these posts like a week ahead. So you might see something going out on social media. I could be on vacation having margarita, or I could be in school, or I could be driving. So you get offended like, oh, but I saw you. No, you did not see. It's things are different. The technology is different, but also you should be okay with my answer. You should be okay with me saying, I didn't feel like it. Without you being, and if you are a good friend, if you are somebody that I respect me, I respect you, you should not be offended because I will give you the same grace like, oh, she's tired, she's not picking up my call. You get back to me. Eventually you get back to me. When you don't get back to me after a week or so, that's when like, okay, what's going on? But eventually I know you get back to me, I'll get back to you. So I say no.
And she's not praying about it. She doesn't get mad. Like me, if you send, I'm bad with message. Even when I start talking to Khadija, I told them like, if you send me a message, I don't respond, it's important, give me a call. Like I'm very bad at it. Why? Because that was part of my healing. I had to learn to prioritize things and prioritize me.
For me, the actual text message is just maybe from my wife. In a normal, like, who is texting me in a normal way? It's just maybe, I'll call you later, those kind of like.
My husband, he doesn't send me message. He knows he's going to tag there.
I have 54 messages right here that I've not opened. Like 54 messages. And half of the time, I feel like, don't send me, I'm in a different area. Send me memes on Instagram. Yeah, I like those. But don't send me memes on text message because that's just, when I'm on social media, I can scroll, I can see things that you think we're finding, we're sharing it. But on the text message, I don't have time. I have 54 messages. And really, they've been sitting there for a while. They're not important.
Like if you follow up something important, it's not like, And nowadays, like, I remember like a couple of days ago, I canceled a meeting because I was tired. Like, the only thing now people understand, like, if I'm tired, I cannot be in the meeting and I'm tired. I have to give up. So please, can we reschedule the meeting until further notice because I'm in a position I needed to go into rest. Yeah. But before that, how do you feel about it? No. Nowadays, like, if I need to go to sleep, I need to go to sleep.
I don't play with my sleep.
I don't want to hear anything else apart from
I do not play with my sleep. I do not play with my sleep. I do not play with my sleep. No.
For me, for instance, like, today I started like 3 a.m. to start writing a book. So up to now, I'm awake. obviously, during the time after an hour or two,
You're gonna
I'm
take a
going to
nap.
sleep. Yeah, so you do not know my time zone. So someone, and wherever now I'm going to sleep, whatever time, airplane mode, I don't want to hear anything unless I put the alarm for myself to wake up at what time. And even like another trick is this one. Sometimes you can be talking to someone and you are trying to explain, okay, I need to go to rest, and the person continue. Is very easy. Put airplane mode. It will appear that you didn't hang up the phone, but there is technical network problem. You finish the business, then I'm going to sleep. I don't know.
I think we need to make each other life easy, because life itself is hard and we complicate it a lot.
Or someone is calling you like 5 times in a period of every 2 minutes. Like, are you like in the accident or what? Oh, I was just saying hi to you. You call 5 times? Like in a period of every 2 3 minutes, 5 times. Yes, twice, yeah. Like I say, yeah. So it's unnecessary. You need to be considering.
Set your boundaries. It's like, nope, no is no. Whatever works for you, whatever works for you. And I think I should be okay when I call, you don't return my call. I know eventually you'll call me. I know eventually you'll return my call. So I don't really get offended. I know eventually you answer my message. So I don't really get offended, because I know, look, everybody's dealing with a lot. Everybody is working, have lives, have kids, have things outside of me. So I don't get offended, but I'm not answering calls. I want to take time. I will take time. Like I say, I would rather give you my money, give you my time. And my time is if it's like this weekend, I'm like, this weekend is my time. I want to stay at home on Sunday. I want to stay at home this weekend. I will stay at home. It doesn't matter what it is. No.
There are some people getting stressed if you don't like their photo. You don't like they send them in, you respond. Like, are you kidding me? In this life, you are stressed out. Those ones, they put a pressure on it. So some people, they get that kind of situation. That is not the issue is meme, or the issue is a post you didn't like. It might be lack of attention when you are growing up. So that's why I say, like, you have to go deeper to find what is inside you.
Because if you get upset, if you get upset, somebody didn't like it. You got issue. Or you sending somebody a message. Can you post me on my birthday? I'm like, why? Like, you sending somebody birthday. I'm like, no, low self-esteem is that spot of, you need therapy. Like, you really need to talk. That's low self-esteem. Why would you want to be validated all the time? Okay.
So we all trying to grow and turn social media as our source of income. I kind of feel like for the people we already have is a relationship we already have, and we have a short period of time. So we have to give grace to our friends and give them time to go make other connection which they don't have. I cannot be on Khadija all the time because she knows I have her back. She knows I'm supporting her. But there's some people who doesn't know me. So we have to let our people sometimes connect with other people to spend whatever. If it's 10 minutes of your lunch break, you want to go on social media and engage, it's okay. Go engage to people who doesn't know you. Like, I know Makulilo will come on my inbox and give me some good tips. I don't need him to be on my comments all the time. I don't need him to be sharing my posts. But whatever he's providing me on my inbox is very valuable, other than him giving me one like. We have to prioritize sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very
Any other last thing before we wrap up?
Get therapy.
Exactly.
Get therapy. If it's expensive, there's always organization that offer free therapies. There's always some church organization, Muslim organization, Jewish organization. There's some type of organization, community organization that would offer something free. So don't feel like you're stuck in an environment where it's just you, nobody care, or you can't talk to anybody. Get help, because at the end of the day, I would rather you reach out and get help and talk to your friend, talk to people who you trust. Talk to people who you trust, because I would rather you fight to get the help that end up doing something that, you know, we all gonna say, I wish you spoke to me. I wish she told me. I wish you did this. No, nobody wins at the end.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll say, let's educate ourselves, get informed. Whatever it is, there's a ton of information out there. It's okay to learn new things. And we might say we don't have time, but there's easiest way of learning now. You don't know what you're learning is going to help. For me, like with my postpartum depression, I said I wasn't ready. It came, but now I'm going through perimenopause. I'm going to be on menopause tomorrow. I'm getting as long as information as I can get so I can be ready. So let's try to learn. And another thing I'll say, let's check on our people.
Yeah.
Let's try to be safe space for people around us. Everybody is going through something. Give people grace, be kind. And whenever you have time, just try to check on your people.
Mm.
Yeah. And for me, it's just also to continue emphasizing that there is no toughness in sickness when I'm African, I'm a man, I'm a black, whatever, those crazy things. No. There is no, when you are sick, please go ahead and find a way to get it treated. That is something very, very important, because otherwise, and especially for people living in these countries, it is very, very easy if you are not keen enough to be having the mental issues, to be depressed, and then to be alone, because it is easier to be 1 week without meeting a person. So that is also going to overwhelm you. So don't wait until it's too much, you ending up taking your life or doing something crazy, harming other people. So, because if you treat yourself better, it is easier and faster for you to be able to succeed. It is easier and for you, for your family to be around you and to be able to support them, your children, your spouse, to be in a very happy life.
Yeah.
And the last thing I just wanted to remind people to subscribe to the Beyond the Map podcasts. We'll be posting more videos like this one, so stay tuned for more episodes to come.
Yes.
Thank you.